How's it going, guys? Spec here, starting the next video. It's probably gonna be taking over the next week or two, this video. So you're probably gonna see me changing clothes and hairstyles and hats and whatnot. But I figured I'd get this started now. I'm starting to disassemble these two motors I have, getting cleaned up and ready for the machine shop. So basically, to start this video off, I just wanted to start with the name Spectre, spec tuning, where that whole came from. Back in the day when I was a big video gamer, my gamer tag was Spectre, and Spectre 75. That was my dad's race car number when he was racing sprint cars. So yeah, Spectre just kind of came with me and it's gone with me for many years now. So that's where the whole Spectre or spec tuning thing is coming from. Hell, probably a good amount of you will know that I changed my YouTube name to Spec Tuning rather than Spectre 75. I felt that was a little more fitting. Most of you guys probably know me either by E-Tune or Street Tuning. So I'm a big tuner in the San Jose Bay Area location. Kind of specialized in K-Series. That's where I started all that. So I was pretty lucky. Now I'm going with the D-Series. I realized how tough things were back in the day when these tuners first were starting to tune their D-Series, or their B-Series, if you will. So yeah, that's why I changed the YouTube name. And I'm sure a lot of you are asking, well, if you started with the K series, why would you go back in time to the K series? Well, that's a good question. That's a very good question. So it all started out when I bought my first car off my mom. It was a red 96 EX. But that's where it all started. I was a kid. I was probably 18 years old and decided just to do the normal bolt-ons. So started doing that, made some okay power for what a D-Series can do, and I had some good plans. I blew up the motor, spun a bearing, just being a kid, not really paying attention to the oil level and whatnot. But spun a bearing, ended up doing a full rebuild on it, up the compression a little bit. I tuned it on a Pexi Neo, one of those SAFC units. I had no idea what I was doing at all back then. But had a lot of fun. I just got the motor broken in, and then I fell victim to the Honda theft. It was stolen from me, stripped down, vandalized, and then I used that money that I got from insurance, thankfully, to get my 8th generation Civic. And then that's where I started learning how to do tuning, and I went to my local college. I did the De Anza Auto Tech program. Not their day program, but all the prerequisites leading up to that, just because I wasn't sure if I really wanted to be a mechanic or not. Then from there on, I moved out of state for a while and I was bored. So I just started taking classes at HP Academy, learning how to EFI tune, and started on my own car. And well, now I'm well over 100 cars deep. I've had great results, met a lot of really cool people out there in the Honda scene. But I learned a lot, had a lot of fun, as you guys can tell if you've watched any of my previous videos. A lot of my buddies were out there doing their thing in my car and having fun, and I started taking it out to the track and was able to run some okay times for what I had. It was a bolt-on K20. Everything else was stock internally. It made about 220 wheel. Ran a 13.8 at the quarter mile with just regular street slick tires, nothing crazy. But I had a lot of fun with that. But anyways, I kind of got off topic there. The D-Series, when it got stolen, I had plans. I wanted to do a big turbo kit on it, and I wanted to see how far I could take that little D-Series motor out and see how much I can get out of it. And I've always been kind of an underdog person. I always like rooting for the underdog. So I figured, you know what, why not play with the D-Series? So I got the opportunity again. I was able to pick up this little car for cheap, super cheap, like $1,300. Had 125,000 miles on it. I'm like, you know what? Why not? Why not play with the D-Series again? So that's what I'm about to be doing. That's what this channel is going to be a majority of, is the process of boosting the D-Series. Got a lot of parts on the shelf over there, and it's about time to start putting it all together. Yeah. From here, I'll pick back up. We're going to take the blocks over to the machine shop. I'll probably take you guys with me and then start the build. Start the engine assembly. I have some Eagle H-beam rods with Arius forged pistons going in it. I just got off the phone about an hour ago with Riolo Racing Engines, and they have a really good block filler. It's kind of like the DevCon epoxy thing, but this is a little better. I'm just waiting on the shipment for that to come in so I can fill the block a little bit just to strengthen up those sleeves, because these D-Series have a little bit of issues around 300 plus wheel horsepower where you can start moving those sleeves around and crack a sleeve, and that's the last thing I want to do. I'm trying to do this right the first time. I'm going to end up using a Z6 crank and a Y8 block, probably a Y8 head as well, just because that's easiest. That's what's in the car, OBD2 stuff. And then as far as the turbo kit, it's all custom together. I'm using the 1320. You know, I should probably go get that here. I'll be back. So I'm going to be using the 1320 manifold with Action stage 3.5 clutch. Here's the pistons and rods. I'm just going to use this eBay 50 trim turbos, and then just all the bells and whistles. It's a complete custom kit. I really didn't cheap out on much, but as I was saying, I want to do it right the first time. Oh, and I guess I should get into that now too. So I guess I should get into that. The M Factory limited slip differential. The video before I recorded this, I kind of quickly went through a couple pictures and explained what has happened up to this point. But my input shaft bearing went out on this transmission, so I decided to do a full rebuild. I'm going to turbo the car, do a full rebuild. It's got Syncrotech carbon synchros, the whole rebuild kit, and an M Factory limited slip differential. Just because I know enough about front wheel drive to where if you're pushing a little over 250 wheel horsepower, traction is going to be a big issue. And I plan on going fairly higher than that, so traction needs to be taken care of first. But yeah, I mean, I'll go through more of the parts, what I've collected as we're putting it on the car. But those, I think, are the big things that I wanted to touch on now. But yeah, you're just going to follow me along the build. I'll try and update you guys as much as possible. I'm kind of new to this whole vlogging thing and whatnot, so it's going to be a learning experience, so stick with me. But yeah, let's have some fun. All right, well, let's get to disassembling the Z6 block and get the good crank out of it. And then it's off to the machine shop with the new block, new crank. Well, junkyard block, junkyard crank. But yeah, let's do it. Guys, we're headed off to the machine shop. Got the block, the head, and the crank back there. Gotta go make sure these things are good to go. Keep your fingers crossed. We're over here at Victory Machine. About to get the block and the deck looked at, maybe the crank looked at. Hopefully they're all in good condition. But pretty cool old shop. I guess my dad was sponsored by these guys way back in the 80s. For his sprint cars. So look at these cars they got here. What a clean Camaro that is, huh? No, just shy.
Dude, I'm pretty impressed.
I know, me too, for a junkyard block. Junkyard
Really?
head.
I've never seen a Honda that haven't had the surface.
Really? Right on, guys. Well, now that we know the engine's good, it's time to clean it up. We've got some engine degreaser going on. Get all this nasty grease and oil from these bad seals that were on it, and it sat in the junkyard for who knows how long. So time to clean it up a little bit, and then I was thinking possibly painting it, but nah, I don't think it needs it. I think just having everything looking clean would be good enough. I mean, we are dealing with a little shitbox Honda here. Looks like shit, but works legit. All right, motor's cleaned up. Came out pretty dang good. Way better than it was. Should look pretty nice when it's all stuffed into this engine bay. I'm gonna probably have to do a little bit of engine bay cleanup as well. But yeah, I'm glad that came out pretty good. Now I'm gonna do some painting on the valve cover. Just gonna do a black wrinkle finish with this DHT stuff, but gonna get this done today. Got a couple hours before work, and then hopefully in the next few days I'm gonna start cleaning this head up and go from there. I'm probably gonna leave the head stock right now just because money's getting a little tight. This build kind of got a little out of control. But you know what, if you're gonna do it, might as well be done right. All right, so we got the first couple coats on, coming out pretty good. While I'm waiting for this coat to dry a little bit before I put the third and final coat on and then stick it in the oven, I am going to just lightly sand the deck, get it free of all the materials, and then I'll probably do the same thing with the head here. And gotta have that really good mating surface. It's really important, especially if you're boosting a motor that had no intentions of being boosted. Oh, of course, as soon as I spray the last coat, we have tree trimmers across the street. So this might be a special wood flake edition. It's gonna be pretty neat. Totally expected. All right, everything is clean and ready to go. I kind of have it all laid out here just to make sure I have everything that I need and it's all dialed in. Sadly, while cleaning this oil pan, I'm thinking there is a crack. Let's see if you guys can see it here. See that right there? Oh, that goes all the way down here, all the way to the drain plug. And it looks like on the inside of it, someone tried to fix it, but I am not sure if I'm going to trust that. So I do have another oil pan just in case. So I'm probably gonna end up using that one. But next video is gonna be an intake manifold, getting that ready, and then we're gonna be doing the notching on the block to make clearance for the rods, and do some port matching and gasket matching on the intake manifold. Don't think I'm gonna be touching the head at all. I'll leave that for another project down the road. But yeah, guys, if you've made it this far, awesome. I really do appreciate it. This is a lot of time, a lot of effort. I just enjoy messing with these cars, and tuning them and seeing what works best and driving them, of course. So stay tuned. Definitely can't wait for this next video to come out. And we'll see you then.